Hi, this is Steffi from Steffi's Beads and Baubles, and this lighting today is horrible. It is so dark and dreary outside. But I wanted to show you this little shamrock pin in time for St. Patty's Day. And this one I did the regular triangular edging on. I did not put a pin back on that one yet. And then this one I did the new edging I showed at the end of my basic tutorial. Now I'm going to do a little bit more of that because since that tutorial did not come out perfect, even though I think I explained it good, I'm going to show you real quick on this video how to do it. I think on smaller projects like this, sometimes that works out better because it's harder to tell that this is a shamrock because there's so much edging. I'm also not thrilled with the iridescent clear green I used. I think this emerald or this green hologram, which is right over here, and it's an absolutely stunning sequin. You can see the different colors reflecting, and they still have it. I checked this morning. It's just called green 5mm slightly cupped hologram. Now of course you won't have them in time for St. Patrick's Day, or you might. They're pretty quick, but it's just a gorgeous green for pretty much anything that you want a green for when making this kind of a project. And they have these in so many colors. I mean, greens and purples and reds and blues and just anything, silver, gold, everything in these holograms. And you can buy them either in these little bags or you can buy them in these giant bags, which is, this is the green I used on there, and I don't like how it came out. And they don't sell this one anymore, which I had already done that one a while back and decided to use it in this video. I just edged it. I had already done the beadwork. So I apologize, but you could use a clear. These are the two side by side. There's the clear and there's the green I used. And they're definitely different, but if you put the clear onto the felt, and then once you've secured it down with a green seed bead, let me see here. Let's see. It gives it a little bit better look. It's kind of similar, but you can see that the iridescent green is a little better. But I went looking and they really don't have much of iridescent greens right now. I don't know why, but they don't. But I do plan on making a kit. I was planning on making the kit with this green, but I do have enough of this green. Obviously, I've got a lot that I can do some kits, and I'll make this green available in my kits. And then I will put the kit so that you can pick what trim you want, because it does make a difference in the amount of beads and work. But let me show you real quick two things I'm going to show you on here, and that's how to do a pin back, and sorry that knot is hanging over there. How to do a pin back sewed on, which I think most of you can do without my help, and how to do this edge real quick, just a refresher. And then I will link this to the bottom of the basic tutorial, since I messed up at the back of. I'm telling you guys, until you've put a camera between you and your beadwork, you do not understand how tough it is, especially when you're almost 60 and you want things right up close to your eyes. I guess if you're one of those folks like my husband who has to hold stuff out, this would be ideal for him. But I'm one of those people, I take off my glasses for close-up work, and I like it right up under my face. So when I do mess up, I apologize, but it's honestly because I'm trying to get things in front of the camera, and I finally give up and look over the camera, and that's when it gets out of frame. So I'm going to, now that I'm aware I'm doing it, I'm going to work harder, I promise. But here is what I did to show you. Let me find the piece, because I have it here on my tray somewhere. Here. I did it in two greens. Okay, we're going to pretend that I've gone all the way around. And I'm going to both show you how to start and end in just a couple stitches. So I've gone all the way around. Let's just pretend. And this is the very first stitch I did, right here. That's the very first bead I added. So now we're going to both start it and finish it at the same time. So you're going to go in between the felt, just like you do on the other edging. There's no difference at all. Go in between and then come from the back and make a loop. But the difference is you're only going to put one seed bead on instead of 3, like you do for the regular looped. So you're going to put, and you're going to hold it in place because you got to see how that seed bead's supposed to sit. And you can even do it before you're completely flat, because you've got to go up from the bottom. If you go the other way, it'll twist it. So you've got to see how the seed bead's sitting. See that? And go up through it. Catch it before it twists, and then get it in place. See? Because that little sucker will try to twist on you, and if you go in it from the wrong direction, you got to pull it all out. And I just did it when I was doing this tutorial a minute ago. It's been one of those mornings where I've tried this 2 or 3 times, but I won't do it unless it's perfect for this one. Okay, then you're going to put it back around. You're going to put a bead on it. Go back around the back again, and that one holds it down a little better. You can go back up and pull it down again. Now you can see there's about enough room for 2 stitches there. So we're going to pick up. And let me get my glasses on. I'm trying to see. I'm not going to worry about them being the same size where normally I would. I just want to, I can't do that and do this. Okay, see, as you go along, it'll lie down a little bit better for each additional stitch. You won't have to mess with the thing. Now when you get to here, you got to see, okay, I've got room for 1 more. And so then you're going to take and get 1 more. I'm trying to find one that's at least somewhat uniform. That's the problem with these cheap. Okay, now you're going to go in between again, one more loop around, and get this last one laying down right between the 2. And then you're going to go up the bottom, and the difference is, to finish it off, you're going to go back down through that very first seed bead. You don't add a seed bead, you just go back down through that, and then that holds it in place, and then you're just going to do your tie off. I go around 2 or 3 times this direction, around 2 or 3 times that direction, and I cut it. Let me get it turned around and kind of show you. It doesn't look as good without the sequins, but I didn't want to put sequins on. I wanted to be able to show you. Now I'm going to stress to you, when you're doing this and you've got sequins here, when you're coming up to do it, make sure you go between the sequins. See how I have my needle? If you find you do this, if you come up through the middle of a sequin like that, pull it right back out and go back up between. Because if you come up through the middle of a sequin, when you go back around, you're going to see that thread lying on top of your sequin. And that could look bad, especially if you're using a white thread. Now I've got a dark green thread, but it would still show on this beautiful sequin. So that's all you do, and it doesn't take that long to go around even a piece this big, a bigger piece even, because you're just doing the 1 bead. And so as you get used to it, it goes real fast. And then we're going to do a pin back. So we're going to take 1 piece of felt, because you always want to do this on a single piece of felt. In fact, I've got one that's got some stitching on it that we can work around the stitching. This is one I did many years ago. It's not even the same one. See? They don't match up. But I couldn't find the cookie cutter for that one. So I literally printed one out, and I cut it out and pinned it onto my felt, which I will tell you guys was torture, because I'm used to stamping them. So I will be spending time finding myself these Shamrock and V. I should have listened to you and bought the set at Hobby Lobby. I didn't when they had them, and my husband finally went to look for me the other day, and they were all gone, and they had several sizes. So my goal is, by next St. Patrick's Day, I want to have a better set, a bigger to small. But this is old school. I've done this when I've had to. It's not fun. It's a lot more work because it's hard to draw on the felt. I think I have where I did that on my felt, and you can see how thick the lines are. Not ideal. But when I have to, I do it. So let's do the pin back real quick. I have some needle and thread here. And let's take that piece I just had. Where did I put him? I'm telling you, this camera gets right in front of me and I can't see anything. Let's see. Oh, here he is. So we're just going to figure out where we want the pin back. Now, I've got some pretty small ones, but this is a tiny piece, so it's not going to be straight because I don't want it to, well, this one might be able to be somewhat straight. Oh, wait a minute. I'm mistaken. I'm telling you, today's been a day. You're not going to do it on the front. You're going to do it on the back. Oh my gosh. All right, keeping it real, guys. I'm not going to delete this. You're going to do it on the back. You're not going to do it on the side that has the sequins. That would be stupid because then you'd see the stitching. Oh my gosh. I'm out of practice, y'all. Here we go. We're going to put that where we want it. Okay? Then we're going to come up wherever you want to start. Now you could start in the middle, but I always start at one end. And I guarantee you're going to poke yourself at least once, unless you go very slow. Now I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to use a beading needle for this. Obviously you're just stitching. So if you want to use a shorter needle, I didn't even think to get a shorter needle. And then you're going to go, you can go one of two ways. You can do one side at a time, or you can go back and forth. Now if you want to do one, this is another issue you catch on the pin. So go slow. Okay, you can go around two or three. I should do about 3 times on each side. Just be careful, go slow, and then even if you do poke yourself, it won't hurt too bad. Okay. You can glue these on too. If you don't want to deal with this, get yourself a good fabric or craft glue. But I just think they look better stitched, so I tend to stitch on the felt. I'll show you one that I glued on. I mean, this is a long time ago. When I'm done with this, I'll show you, and it doesn't look real good. Now see, before I go to number 2, I always recenter it. Now you're going to go to the other side, and you're going to do the same thing. Just keep going in and out of the opening so that you can secure it. And like I always tell you, there's no right or wrong. Doesn't have to be that pretty. It's a pin back. It's just to make it look nice. I probably am going in and out the wrong way too, because I'm supposed to go opposite, and I think I've gone in and out the same way. Okay, now when you go to the middle or to the third, whichever, as you go along, you can either cross over the top or you can come up from the bottom, and then your crossover will be underneath. I do both. I don't know why I don't do it this way more often, because it really does look nicer. But a lot of times I will do it on the top. And it doesn't look that gorgeous. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't always do the best on this back. But anyway, you're just going to keep doing that. And you're going to keep making sure it's adjusted. And do about 3 stitches. I'm going to put the camera so I can see. So about 3 stitches on either side of the hole, then go either over or under, 3 stitches in the middle, 3 stitches on the side, and then you'll just come over to the side and do the loop, 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 like I showed you on the edging. And then it's done. So they're real easy, they're cute, they're fun, and I will be making a kit for this. Of course, I can't get them to you by St. Patrick's Day, but, I'll have them there in case you want it for next year. But really, all you have to do, what I did is I went online and I printed out a picture of a shamrock, cut it out, then traced it onto card. Actually, I printed it out on cardstock. I think that's what this was. I printed this out on cardstock, cut it out, and then that's the black pen I used to trace it. So, not ideal, but, when you have to do something to make it work. Because all I had was, I'll show you the one I glued. See how, oh, that's not the one I glued. I glued one. Yeah, here it is. And I only did a single. I didn't put a back on this. Like I said, this is 20 years old. So I must have had a cookie cutter at one time, but look how awful that looks. It's just, ugh. I'm going to pull that apart. The glue's so old, it's yellowed. And this is an extra small pin back too. I think that's a little smaller than this one. So if you get the little tiny ones, this is a 2-hole. These are a 3. So if you get the little 2-hole, they might fit better too. I forgot you could get them that tiny. So anyway, I'll tilt it so you can see again. This is with the fancy triangle edge. This is with the neater, tinier edge, which I think for a piece this small works better. But I still like how this one looks. And I just went along the edge of this piece and up the stem. You could fill the whole thing in if you wanted. That would be pretty too. But I thought this would be fun just to show a little difference. You could also put a focal in the middle, maybe a larger sequin or a flower. You could do all kinds of stuff. I just didn't have much time and I wanted to get this out to you. And it still ended up being a 15-minute video, and that was not intentional, but I showed you 2 steps. But as far as the beads go, I used a silver-lined Rochelle clear glass green bead with silver lining. You can get them anywhere. I got these at Tuesday Morning years ago. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and I'm sure you can get them at, you possibly could get them at Walmart. Any green sequin will work. And you can use green thread like I did, or you could use white and it would be just fine. Or black. Black might even work better with the dark green. So, whatever you got, use it. That's what I did for most of the time I've been beading. I had white and black only. It's only been in the last, well, I started getting colors a few years in, but it's only been in the last few years I had such an array of colors. But anyway, this is probably going to be the last really long one, but I wanted to re-show you that step, and I wanted to show you the pin back. I'm going to attach this video in the description of the tutorial so that these steps will be hooked into that one so that I won't re-show them again. So thank you again. I apologize for this one being so long. The whole point was to make them shorter, but I did add 2 steps in. In the future, many of the times I will be showing you the ornament, showing you the materials, telling you a little bit about the inspiration, and keeping it to about 5 or 6 minutes at most. We'll try for that next time. Thank you again, and I will be back very soon. I also have some other requests I've had from subscribers, so I'll have some other non-ornament videos coming too. Thanks again so much. I really appreciate you guys more than you can even imagine. And I'll be back soon. Bye.